Howdy, I'm Jerry King from Jerry King's Training in Parkton, North Carolina. You're watching from the ground up. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you a couple of horses that just starting to put a handle on them. They're two different type bred horses. This is a little cut and bred mare. She's just turning 2, may not be quite 2 yet. We got a few rides on her, getting her moving forward. So today we're gonna start and build on our foundation of the kind of turnaround that I'm gonna want her to have in the end. So I start them off and I start walking them in circles. And I want to try to get her, she's a little sticky right now because I just got on her in this Monday morning. So, but I'm gonna free her feet up a little bit before I ask much out of her and be sure she's with me. So I'll walk in some bigger circles to start with, kind of just asking her to tip her nose to me a little bit. Then I'll reverse directions. And anytime I pick up a hand, I want to use a leg. So I'm using my inside leg to get her to bend and tip her nose to me. Get her to move her ribs out of the way. Even though it's a big circle, I still need her ribs out of the way. So I just kind of bump her a little bit with my inside leg. When I get ready to change directions, I'll change legs, pick my left hand up, use my left leg, get her feet. See right there, she want to kind of get a little sticky. So I kind of ask out over, say, hey, go ahead and let your feet get to go and don't fall in on me yet. So we'll get her walking around here for a second. Get her listening to me. Sometimes I might have to use my outside leg in order to keep her feet moving. But I've got a little squeeze on my inside leg to keep those ribs bent. Now when I get ready for her to step around a little bit, so I'm gonna stop her here right now. Ask her to stop. She wants to back up. That's a good thing because she's being a cow horse. Every time we stop, she needs to draw back. So I'm gonna flex her here a little bit, be sure she's kind of halfway soft with me here. Right there, she's wanting to. So right here, when she does that, I'm gonna use this inside leg, bump her soft. I'm gonna turn it back loose. So anytime I ride out of a turn like that, I turn them loose and just let them walk off free. Because she's being a little sticky, but like I said, it's Monday and she's a little fresh, so I expect that a little bit. So I'm gonna ask her to come here. All I wanna do is give me her head right there. Give me her head, right there. And I'm gonna ask the other way. There. Back here again, right here. She won't be a little stiff with her body, so I'm like, hey, give me those ribs like I asked you. So I didn't really get after her real big. I just did a little bump with her to get her to give me her ribs. Because every time she turns her head, she shapes her body like this. So I'm gonna ask it again. Now she did it that time without a big deal. So now I'm gonna go back to walking in some more circles. I like to mix things up so that they don't get bored and get frustrated with just doing one thing the whole session. So right here, see, she's really wanting to be sticky on this side. She's telling it in her feet. And if her feet's sticky, then her body's gonna be sticky, and her neck's gonna be sticky, and her face is gonna be sticky. All of it's gonna be together. So right there, she's kind of freeing up there with me a little bit. I hardly have any pressure on these reins now. They're laying in my hands. You see my hands aren't even closed. I just got them laying in my fingers here. So if I stay soft, I can teach her to be soft. If I grab hold of her and pull her around and get rough with her, then she's gonna learn how to get rough with me because it takes 2 to fight. Always remember that when you're messing with a horse. It takes 2 to fight. So if you don't fight with them, then there's a chance of them fighting with you. It won't last because they'll quit, no matter what you're doing with them. So right there, her feet are doing pretty good. So right there, I'm fixing to ride her out of it. Fixing to ask her to come the other way. Right here. Now I'm fixing to draw this circle in. So what my ultimate goal is to explain to you so you'll know what I'm looking for when I get through. What my goal is for her nose to come here. It doesn't have to come all the way to my leg. I just want it to give a slight bend. I want this part to learn to stay still. I want her to step over herself, okay? So the first thing to move when I get through with her and she's doing what I want, this inside leg will step back, okay? It will step back here, 'cause that's the direction she needs to go. The outside leg ultimately will end up going behind the front leg, not in front of it. A cutting horse is going to turn around with his off leg coming inside. A running horse will step to the outside. That's the difference in your two turnarounds. So let's just see what she does here. And you have to be really patient here. I'm going to ask her to come right here, and I'm just going to hold her. All right, now I'm going to shake my outside leg just a little bit, keeping a little bit of pressure on this outside rein. Okay. I want that leg in, I want her left leg to step back like that. I want to step back again. Right here, use a little outside leg. I want to draw her back. There. See how her butt? Everybody's talking about disengaging the butt. I want to engage that butt to stay still. Okay? Now, I'm not saying there's not times that I want to move that butt like that, but every time I do that, I'll do it 20 times with it standing still. Okay? Because I want to have to ask her to move that butt in order to move. I don't want her moving it on her own. And the reason they do move it is because the butt is lighter and easier to move. Most of the weight's on the front end. So it's the hardest thing to move. Now let's do it this other way. I'm going to bring her here. I'm going to be patient. Just going to do a little wiggle with my outside leg. There. 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 See how she stepped around there? Okay, so we're going to do a lot of this, and then I'll take her and ride her out, because once again, it's about controlling these feet. You need to be able to move these feet. Most trouble that you have with a horse is because you're not able to control their feet in some type of manner. So I go back and I go back to trotting. Because remember that everything you do with a horse, there's a foundation. Now right there, she stepped over there pretty good. So my foundation on getting her to turn around to start with was a big circle, okay? And then I brought my bigger circle into a smaller circle. That's how I started it. So even though she may turn around here like I want her to, I will do that some. Then I stop her and ask her to step back, step this other way, be patient here, don't make it a fight. She steps out of it here a little bit, so all I do is just bring my other rein back a little bit. Bring it back here. Step that front end over. Then I'm going to go back. So then I go back to what started the whole thing. The more you do your foundation, the stronger horse you're going to have in the end, because they'll always understand what you're asking. Oh, the second. Hi, I'm Jerry King from King's Border Collies. We use Border Collies around here. They're the #1 dog as far as I'm concerned, the smartness and the help they do. I train cutting horses and sorting horses. They help me every day with my cows. They go out in the pasture. I don't ever go out in the pasture to get cows. I open the gate, they go get them, they bring them, put them in. They take them back out of the pen. Any separating and sorting I want to do, I do with my dogs. I could take these dogs to take my cows and dump them out. I always tell people at Walmart, and take one dog and either put them in a trailer or bring them back home. I had my cows get out about 20 years ago, and they left. I found half of them downtown in a housing development. I took one dog and brought all the cows home down the highway. So they're very handy dogs, they're very intelligent dogs. So, but they're definitely my dog, #1 dog. Buddy? If you notice, he's very in tune to me and watching what I want and waiting for me to give him the signal. Now he's supposed to stay with me around right. He knows his left right a little better than some of the customers I have here do. Stop. Walk up. He loves his job now. He'd rather do that than eat. But this is what we look for in a cow dog. If you ever decide you want one, give me a call. We have puppies all the time. This is a young dog. I just started breeding some, so we have puppies off of him. We have puppies off of him all the time for sale, and young dogs. We have started dogs, and we train dogs for other people. So if you have a dog you want to get started, just give me a call. Thank you. Her feet freed up there a little bit. So remember, whatever you do to get a horse started doing things, always go back to it. Right there, she won't step out of it, so I'm just like, whoop, nope, 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 nope. Come back here. Step her around. There we go. Now, I go back off out here, and I ride her a little bit, because she would much rather do this than be pulled around in a little circle. So what she does, she's like, if I do what he asked me to, then he's going to give me relief and let me ride off and enjoy this ride. I ask her to do it again. And to start with, I won't ask for a whole lot of circles. Each day I'll ask for a little bit more, but I want her to step back, hold that butt still, move that front end. And always when you turn a horse around, I've seen people, they get on a horse and they think they're turning around, got them turning around better. They're going around like this, and then they whip that horse to the other side. So what they're asking that horse to do, they're having that horse to bend their ribs. And in the middle of bending their ribs to the left, they whip them to the right. Okay? So that horse has got to break his ribs back and to change direction. It is you'll see people, they'll sling around, but the horse ends up slinging himself around because his body is in his own way. So always prepare a horse for a turnaround. No matter which way you're going, whether you're trotting around and change direction. If I want to change direction, and let's just say I do want to turn to the left, and I'm going to the right here now, okay? And I do want to turn back to my left. Before I ask this horse to turn around, I'm going to pick up. Here, just a second. I'm going to pick up on this other rein here, reshape that body, then I'll turn him around. Right here, she's wanting to walk out of it. There we go, there. Come here. Like I said, keep in mind, this is just a baby turning 2. So she's got a lot of time ahead of her. But this is basically what I do, but I always go back to the enjoyment part because I want this horse to enjoy what we're doing. I also want him to understand what I'm doing. He's going to have to do what I ask him, but he needs to understand what I'm asking him first. And that's the reason for always going back to your foundation. It doesn't matter what you're doing with a horse, what kind of riding you're doing, or what kind of training you're doing, whether it's cutting or trail riding or roping or doing anything else. Always remember what got you where you are. The road that you took to get there, go back. Always go back to that same place because that will build a better horse. Keep that foundation. I'll mess with her here a little bit. Ask a little bit more out of her. Right here, she's wanting to walk out. See, I don't fight her about it. I've just put a block up. I just close my hands. Right here, I got my hands open. Right here, my reins are just laid in my hands. I'm not even holding on to them. They're just laying on my fingers. But if she wants to step forward, then I close my hands. That's a wall I put there. I said, nope, we're not going that way. So let's do this. She's wanting to nose out a little bit. I'm going to come here. Right there, she wanted to kind of speed that turnaround up a little bit. She did that on her own. She's trying to hunt that release. But a few sessions like this, and she'll find out where that release is. And she'll hunt it a little faster, and she'll understand that she doesn't have to rush that turnaround. I don't want to turn around fast. Speed is the easiest thing to get. Get that foundation in correction first. Step back with that leg. I want that front leg to step back here. And then I'm going to stop her. And always give her a release on when you're doing things with her. Give her a release so that we're not sitting here. She's wanting to nose out a little bit when I pick my hand up. That's okay. I'm going to hold it right here till she gives it to me. Starting to give it to me there. I don't have to have it. I don't want her chinned up against her chest now. But I do want it different than that right there. Okay, right there. See? As soon as she started giving me that nose and giving me what I was asking, then I released her. Take that pressure off, because if not, from when I got on her a while ago until now, all I would be doing is added pressure. So every time I put a little pressure there, I release it, let her process what I'm trying to ask out of her, and give her that release. So this is kind of what we're doing with this baby here right now. I ask her to step back here. There we go, there. There we go. Ask her to step back again. She's getting a little. There we go. So now she backed up. She took them last 2 steps without me even asking her anything. She's kind of understanding. Hunting that release. So this is what I do with a baby like this, and we're preparing her. Like I said, I'll start her on the flag before long. Start working her on the flag. Because right now, the way she is right this minute, I can kind of stop her, pick up on her. She'll fold right around, back up, and fold right around, and give me what I'm asking. So, but this, like I said, this is a just coming 2-year-old. She's got a few rides on her. This is Monday morning, and wind's blowing a little bit, but she behaved herself pretty good. So, just wanted to show you how we do those. Thank you.
Rural American lifestyle. It's how we work, and it's how we play. It's how we learn and how we enjoy the finer things in life. How we take care of our animals and tend to the land. It's a way of life. Has been for hundreds of years. Now there's a whole new way for rural America to watch TV.
Okay, I'm back with you now. I was just showing you a little cut and bred mare that we're getting ready for cows. Now this here is at the other end of the deal. This here is a Missouri Foxtrotter. They're really bred and designed to do a forward motion. They're made to go trail riding and cover some ground. So their mind is usually a little bit ahead of us, where our cutting horses, their mind stays back here with us and everything we're doing. They're bred to think about what we're doing here, and where the Missouri Foxtrotter is a little more of a forward motion horse. So putting a handle on it is a little different. The lady sent this horse here, and I got him started. Been trail riding him a little bit. Now I'm going to start to work on his handle. So when I start trying to draw him in, he's going to be a little harder to get to bring in because of his forward motion of his mind. And the way they're designed, their athletic ability is totally different on a cow horse versus a Foxtrotter like this right here. They don't really have to be real big on stopping and turning around in a tight spot. And like I said, they're bred more for the forward motion. But the foundation of what I'm doing is going to be the same regardless of what the horse is bred, whether it's an Arabian or a gaited horse or anything else. My foundation is going to be the same on both of them. So I still started off with a lot of circles. He's pretty good about giving me his head. He's had a lot of that work done on him. When I start asking him to do things he's not been asked to do, he may kind of elevate and try to get away from you. We'll just see. But I still do the same foundation. I do my little circles, walking him around, and my goal is the same way on my other colt. I want all 4 feet to be moving in the same direction at the steadiest pace. I don't want his front end moving out. I don't want it falling in. I don't want his back end flipping out. So right now I'm looking for a consistency. Let's pretend that I've got a big drum sitting out here and there's a little edge all the way around it. And I got to walk on that edge. If one part of my horse goes off, then I'm gonna fall off or I'm gonna fall in, one of the two. So really, that's why you use a lot of both legs. Use the inside leg if they don't want to bend, and then use my outside leg to keep them forward motion. So keep him going here, and I'm gonna change direction, shape his body, then ask him to come in here. Remember what I said on the other horse? Anytime you change direction, shape his body and prepare his body for that direction. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Now if you'll look on him, his front feet are wanting to move out in front of him a little more than the other horse. And that's just the way he's bred, that's his gait. They have a little gait to them, a little kind of halfway trot, walk, gait on him. It's pretty smooth. If you're wanting to get out and just go hit down the trail, they'll cover a lot of ground in a short time and be pretty smooth about it. This horse has been pretty good-minded. He's not been real bad-minded on things. So, all right, so now I've got him doing his little circles, and he's doing them pretty good. I'm gonna ask to bring it in just a little bit. Now if you'll see how he wants to kind of drop that shoulder out. So it's gonna take a little more, I'm gonna have to use a little more outside rein with this horse to get him to, and he's gonna be a little easier, want to move his front end around, a little less and his back end around. So I have to use a lot of outside rein to keep that front end moving over. He's not gonna wanna bend his body quite as free. And the reason is, it's the way he's built in his shoulder, in his shoulders and all, are built a little different. They're built to go that way. So they get in his way a little bit. Where the other little mare was, her front end could move out of her way and she could do it easy. But I'm still gonna ask for the same thing. I'm gonna ask him to come on in here, holding this inside rein, using enough outside rein to keep him going forward. Easy, I wait right here. Now patience, let him find that place of release right here. Wait. See how he's kind of stretched out, his back end's out back that way and his front end's out that way. Their back end's not as strong as the quarter horses are, so they have a little more trouble doing that, controlling it. So, but I'm gonna be patient here, ask him to come. See, what I feel in my saddle on this horse versus the other horse, I feel everything here wanting to go this way. But like I said, that's not because he's not trying to cooperate with me. It's just his breeding, his conformation. Now you want to step over there, see? See how I waited, gave him a chance to hunt that place. As soon as he gave me a step, then I released him and said, hey, let's go do what you enjoy doing. Let's go step out there a little bit.
Cushing Media is proud to present our first event for 2021, our Everything Equine Expo, a tribute to horsewomen. April 16th through 18th at the Lake Waccamaw Equestrian Center, Bill Thompson Lane, Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina. Our colt starting will feature 6 of the finest cowgirls in the business. Even the horses for colt starting will be fillies and provided by Lost Creek Cattle Company of Tennessee. Professional demos, trail challenge, colt starting, and equestrian entertainment show on Saturday night. Tickets available online or at the gate for just $30 for the entire weekend, including all events, or $15 per day. Follow us on Facebook at Everything Equine Expo, a Cushing Media production.
So I didn't fight him, didn't try to force him through that turn. And I'm gonna one rein stop him here and ask him to give me another turn. I'm gonna hold it, be patient here. See his back end won't move. Right there, he gave me a step, and when he did, I let both hands go forwards. That's good, that's what I'm looking for right there. I won't be quite as demanding as I was with the other horse, asking for a lot to start with. But he also can do some of the similar things. He can still turn around. I just have to mentally get him ready here. Now I'm just asking, I'm not really asking a lot, I'm just like suggesting for him to give it to me. He gave me a step, I released it. Now I'm gonna ask for another one a little bit. I won't let him go quite as far this time. I'm gonna ask for it here. Give it to me. Now notice where my direct hand is now. The direct hand is the hand on the side that you're going. If I'm going circle to my left, then my left hand is my direct. The other rein is my indirect rein. So when I say direct, so that you know what I'm talking about. Watch where my hand is. A lot of people want to come here. They bind them horses up. I want to come in an angle. With him, I will open him up just a little bit more than I did the other horse. In other words, this hand will come this way a little bit more because I'm trying to help you move that front end over. He's trying to give me some steps there. But either way, this hand is going to stay level with my belt line, is where my hand is going to stay. Whether I come here or come out here, it still needs to stay in this level, right here with my belt line. So everything I do with a horse, my hands need to work in a position like this, okay? So I'm gonna ask him to come here. I'm gonna ask him to give me a little more of a circle, a little tighter here. He's wanting to, right there. So he'll pick up on that right quick, because then I'm going to turn him loose and I'm going to use both feet here and let's go. Because I don't want to get those feet sticky with me. Now I want him to stop and turn around, but at the same time, I don't want to lose control over his feet. And they like to move out there a little bit, so let them move out. Now I've got him prepared to turn to the right, keeping my hand the same height, using just a little bit of my indirect rein, in other words my left rein, to keep his forward motion down. Here, you wanted to walk off. I'm like, nope, come here. So when you're working on a horse's turnaround, you got to take in consideration of the horse, what type of horse it is, what you're going to do with him. Like I was saying a while ago, the difference in your turnaround and your reining horse versus your cutting horse. You got to keep all that in mind. You got to keep in mind your horse, his ability. What kind of ability does it have? So don't go ask him to do something that he's not capable of doing. Find the way that this horse can do the best turnaround that he can do, and let him turn around. Right here, he wanted to get a little loose with his back end, so I just closed both hands and said, whoop, I put that wall there. Here, I'm gonna close the wall a little bit, use my direct rein, and ask him to come here. Ask him to come here. See, now, see there, he stepped back there a little bit. Let's see if he'll do it again. There you go. Now, that was the most he had turned around. The furthest he turned around with one session. So I reward him, let him stand here for a little bit. So that's all I was asking you to do. I wasn't asking you to write in a encyclopedia or anything like that. I was just asking you to give me a simple turnaround. So when he did, then I let him rest. So now I'm going to ask him for this direction, see if he can give me the same kind of little deal here. I closed that wall, said nope. Close that wall, there you go. Close that wall, he started to step forward, I just closed my hand. Now like I said on the other mare, my hand, those reins are just laying in my fingers. When he walks off, I close my hand and put that wall there. But I don't want him to be hard mouthed, so that's why I just lay my reins there and I'll be soft and let him come to me. Let him come to me. Patience is the biggest thing that you can have when it comes to doing anything with a horse. I can't overemphasize that enough, that he wanted to turn around there, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him do it. I was gonna stop right there, but he wanted to give me, he wanted to say, look at there, I can do this. But see how he's turned around, his front feet are going a little different than it was on the other horse? And that's okay. That's the kind of turnaround that he's going to have. So, like I said, I can't preach enough how important it is to have patience with these horses. Let them understand what we're asking, give them a chance to respond to what we're asking, and then reward them after they do what I ask them to do. And that's so important. I appreciate you watching the show. I hope you got a few tips out of it. If you ever have anything that you'd like for us to do an episode on, if you'll get up with us, we'd be glad to do it. Thank you.